once again the bourse is on a positive trend. What are the factors behind that?
Well, the bourse is still on a positive trend today. We believe that investors are still taking positions and they're pushing the stocks up, in particular the banking stocks, since Monday. And there might be a bit of profit taken before the end of the week, but we still believe that the week will close on a higher like it did last week.
And which banking stocks are pulling up the bourse today?
Today was really First Bank, but though we had some of the large cap banking stocks, Zenith and GT, losing marginally today, but overall today was the First Bank that actually gained today, that actually pushed it up.
Let's take a look at some of the stories that's coming out of Nigeria. One of the big stories is that Nigeria has set a 10-year tenure for bank chief executives. Isn't that a threat to the free enterprise of the country?
Can you repeat that, please?
Well, we're seeing that Nigeria has set a 10-year tenure for banking executives in Nigeria within the banking sector. Would you say that's a threat to the free enterprise?
If I hear you correctly, that's two 5-year terms that is given CEOs in the banking industry, which is not unfamiliar news that we've perceived before. Even in the US, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act actually encourages banks, or actually mandates CEOs to spend around that 10 years too. So in terms of corporate governance and proper corporate governance in Nigeria, this is actually part of this central bank governor's plan to instill proper corporate governance in the industry. Basically, we think it's a step. It's part of the steps in a good direction, and it will also remove the growing importance of CEOs in institutions.
And how are the banking sector reacting to it?
Not in a negative way. I don't think the banking industry is going to react in any way to this particular piece of news. The industry has been shocked a lot in recent times, and I don't think this particular piece of news is going to affect it in any way. Not today.
All right, let's take a look at the other big story coming out of Nigeria, which is Dangote, who's saying that they're going to come up with about 20 million metric tons of cement and cut all dependence on imports. What do you make of that statement?
Well, there's a huge growth plan going on in Dangote Cement in particular. It's been going on since 2 years ago. Currently, he is expanding into Senegal, is expanding into Zambia and Southern Africa. He's just signed a private placement. Through a private placement. He bought into Sefeku in South Africa. He also is looking at expanding, which is part of his plans. Why he took a $350 million financing with Standard Chartered, part of his plans to expand further. Well, if we look at it, right now he is part of his cement companies. Obajano currently produces like 14 million tons per year. Another Benue cement company, which he has 76%, which is owned by the Dangote Group, which he has 76% of, is also doing like 3 million tons in a year. So I think by 25 million tons in a year is a feasible, is a well achievable plan for the group based on their expansion plans and the funding they are receiving. They are currently in Benin, Nigeria, and Ghana, and I think 25 million tons should actually take care of the demand for cement and actually stop importation, which we currently see. Ultimately, Dangote still imports, still has about 4 terminals across the country right in Nigeria that still imports cement. So his own plan based on the demand for cement right now is to try and ease that, and based on his expansion plans, I think he's doing that pretty well.
Well, Ashaka Cement was showing some good gains on Monday. How exactly is Ashaka Cement faring against Dangote Cement?
Ashaka Cement, and in terms of distribution, we have a Benue Cement company, which I said earlier on is owned by Dangote, which is actually controlling a big part of the north central part of Nigeria. Ashaka Cement is also competing fairly because, as we still import a lot of cement in Nigeria. So ultimately, demand is still there for all the big players to compete favorably. And I think Ashaka Cement is also doing his own part of this. But based on Dangote's expansion plans, I think the edge will still go towards Dangote's group.
All right, Damilola.